All right, ladies and gents, I'm back at y'all with another solo live stream. Waiting for some people to fall up in here. We're gonna get off into this. Let me plug the joint right quick. The biggest lie men believe about women, sex, and love. The biggest lie men believe about women, sex, and love. I do have a short video clip I'm gonna share with y'all in just a moment. Just waiting for some more people to fall up in here and we're gonna get it. We're gonna get it. Real quick, shout out to Duke Lux, IG Legacy, Steve O Baby, Corey T. Me. My shit. Hold on, y'all. God damn it. Hold on. Waiting for some people to fall up in here. What's good, Marktavius? BD? What's good? What's good? Just waiting for some more people to fall up in here, man. We're about to get off into this. Again, the biggest lie men believe about women, sex, and love. And again, I have a video, but before we get into that video, I'm going to peep y'all to this, or I'm going to hip y'all to this. And I've been talking about this article for years. Why sex and love don't belong in the same bed. And I do need to point out that a woman wrote this article. And I also need to point out that she's a married woman. She's older, probably in her 50s or 60s, right? She lives in England. I'm going to read you some excerpts from her article. So when I read you some of the words, it's definitely some shit that someone from England would say, right? The biggest lie men believe about women and sex, right? So at you guys' leisure, check out this article, read it on your own, if you will, right? Again, Why Sex and Love Don't Belong in the Same Bed by Olivia Fane. Now, before I show this clip, I'm going to read you some excerpts, right? So here's one right here. There's never anything profound about erotic contact. Sex is purely a hormonal act, whereas love, as expressed in a hug, brings true intimacy, right? And the point she was trying to make is that when you talk about love, intimacy, and affection, that you're really going to find that outside of the bedroom. That's where you're really going to find that, outside of the bedroom. And the mistake that people make is thinking they can find those things inside the bedroom, right? When you're fucking, you're fucking. Right? You're fucking. You're just fucking. Again, when we talk about true, and women know this. Women know this, that true affection and true intimacy is really non-sexual. So the mere fact that guys are still perpetuating this narrative, right? And it's guys, it's not the women doing this, right? When you see the video, it's these guys that are doing this. And let me just say this before I read some more excerpts. When guys get online and they say the things that they say, I need guys to understand that women watch all of this shit. All of these YouTube videos, all of these videos on social media with guys talking, such as myself and hundreds and thousands of other guys. Women watch all of this shit. Just like guys get gems that they can take onto the dating scene, women do too. They get gems too. Right? And shout out to Jilliana and other women who watch us, right? I'm going to let y'all know a little secret. I'm going to let you know one of the real reasons. Well, there's multiple reasons, but there's one reason, one main reason why women do gravitate to the Real Game No Theory, panel, whether it's us as individuals or as a collective, because they know they're going to hear the real deal shit over here, right? See, women don't really care what losers think, right? They care what winners think, because women want winners. So they care what winners think. The biggest lie men believe about women and sex. Again, I'm gonna show you this video. I'm gonna read you a couple of more excerpts, right? And again, this is from the article, Why Sex and Love Don't Belong in the Same Bed. So she says, but is sex really about love? About connecting with your partner? Those are her words, not mine. With your partner in some mysterious, profound way? No, I don't think it is. I think the 20th century made the whole story up, and we bought it because it suited us. Now, Pete, what I just said, the whole thing about love and sex and emotional connection, society bought it because it suited society. Then she goes on to say, and this is important, we went from sex shame to sex worship in a few heady years. This is a woman saying this. We went from sex shame to sex worship. If you pay attention to what's going on online with the PUAs and the passport bros and the incels and the looks maxers, they worship sex. These guys worship sex. And that's a problem, right? I'm going to read this final excerpt, and then we're going to get into the video. Real quick, if y'all have any questions, by all means, put a Q in the chat, followed by your question. I'm not going to be here that long. I got some shit I got to do. So I'm going to read this excerpt. And when she was penning this article, she was going, she had a back and forth with her husband, right? So when you read the article, you will see his input, right? So they were both kind of talking about this, right? So here's another excerpt. Sex is not about souls. It's about bodies. And the thing about bodies is that they are objects, right? Don't complain about men treating them as such. We women, this is a woman, mind you, we women treat them like objects too. They're talking about their own bodies. I need you guys to understand what she's trying to say, right? She's saying that, oh, people say that men look at women like sex objects, and she's basically saying your body is an object. And then she goes on to say how women do their own bodies and just how people do bodies in general, both men and women, right? So she goes on to say, again, we women treat them like objects too. We pierce them, tattoo them, adorn them, beautify them to our heart's content. I was bemoaning this fact to a gay friend of mine. This is her words, not mine. Right? Saying it's dreadful and destructive what modern culture would have us believe. By conflating sex and love, we have young people wanting plastic surgery to change their bodies. They think that by having surgery, they'll become more shaggable, right? That's a British word. Shaggable means fuckable. They think that by having surgery, they'll become more fuckable and therefore more lovable. Isn't that pathetic, right? So again, y'all can check out that article at your own leisure, but let's go ahead and pop this motherfucking video in and we listen to these goofy motherfuckers talk. Hold on real quick, y'all. Let me find the joint. All right, let's go.
But that's the thing too, and that's what some of the things I think men kind of get misconstrued. Yeah. Some women keep their heart between their legs. So they do. So that's what I'm saying. You the clap master, right? You clapping. But at the same time, what I had to realize is that once you do clap, the rules change. The rules change. And so right. And so when I used to say women was crazy, I'm like, man, that girl crazy. And I had a guy tell me one time, he said, well, what'd she do to her? And me, when I'm having sex, I don't know about y'all, I'm going all out. For the gun. It's 2 seconds on the clock.
You putting on the show.
You know, I'm putting on the show. So it ain't like, I'm going to give her 50% of this. I'm giving you 100 plus 100.
So he said something dumb. He said, okay, hold on. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. Listen up.
But that's the thing too, and that's what some of the things I think men kind of get misconstrued. Yeah. Some women keep their heart between their legs. So they do. So that's what I'm saying. You the clap master, right? You clapping. But at the same time, what I had to realize is that once you do clap, the rules change. The rules change. And so right. And so when I used to say women was crazy, I'm like, man, that girl crazy. And I had a guy tell me one time, he said, well, what'd she do to her? And
okay, so when you read the caption said, good woman, right? They're talking about a woman's heart is between her legs. No, it's not. No, that's a lie. No, it's not. Okay, so here's the problem with that theory, and it is a theory. The problem with that theory is you have sex with a woman, no matter how bad or good the sex is, that the rules change and that she's gonna go crazy and fall for you. So for all the guys that can't fuck or they got little dicks, why ain't that happening for them? So you telling me that a woman only falls in love when it's good dick? So hold on. So is it sex or is it good sex? Which is it? Sex or is it good sex? If you listen to a talk, anytime a woman has sex, the biggest lie men believe about women, sex, and love. And here's the thing, and what guys don't understand is that your sexual experiences, right? It says a lot about how you actually view sex. And I'm gonna go back to what I said in a recent video. When I dealt with this one virgin, right, many, many years ago, right, as a teenager, she wasn't looking for me to date her seriously. She wasn't looking to fall in love. She just wanted to have sex with someone that she liked and was attracted to. That's it. See, guys make this big ordeal about sex and they think women view sex a certain way. No. What happens is when women hear guys talk about sex, what women do is women camouflage themselves. Okay, I'll talk about how women are chameleons, shapeshifters. Women will take whatever shape they need to get what they want, right? So if a woman knows, here's an example. If a woman knows that her getting into a relationship with a particular guy hinges on the fact that he believes that she views sex as something sacred, she's going to pretend to view it as something sacred. Period. That's what she's going to do. Again, guys, if y'all have questions, any questions, put a Q in the chat, followed by your question. I am not going to be here that long, right? Now, he said something about the rules changing. How the fuck the rules change when I'm the one who set the parameters? I set the rules. I set the fucking boundaries. So how's the rules changing, right? And here's the thing, I want guys to understand this. When you're having casual sex or when you're having a casual sex encounter, if you fuck a chick good, right? If she enjoys the sex and all of that, if she wants to see you again, guess what it's for? More dick. She ain't after your heart. Okay. I've never heard a woman say, damn, you fucked me good. I'm ready to fall in love now. I want to be with you forever. All because of sex, and that's it. No. Any relationship, it has to be a healthy balance. It has to be a healthy balance of great sex and then great non-sexual companionship. That healthy balance has to be there. And let me just say this real quick, just in case guys don't understand when it comes to women, quote unquote, falling in love. See, when we talk about women falling in love, women really fall in love with you when they're away from you, not when they're with you. When they are away, I want guys to understand what I'm about to say. When women are away from you, and then they realize, damn, my life is nowhere near as exciting when he's nowhere around. And or when they deal with other men, and then they realize that those other men pale in comparison to you. That's where a woman's feelings really begin to take off, because there's a comparison and contrast between you and other men she's dealing with, but also between you and her past situations. Women aren't having sex with you and falling in love in that precise moment in time. That's not happening. It's just sex. It's just sex. Guys, if women were falling in love because of sex, why aren't more guys in relationships? If that's true. Why are women complaining that they can't find a man? If they're falling in love after sex, come on, man. Like, I want guys to understand the difference between reality and theory. Reality and theory. And let me just say this as well. What a lot of guys don't take into account is the non-sexual shit that guys do. See, guys think that shit doesn't matter. Okay, case in point. You meet a woman. The very first time y'all have sex, let's say y'all have sex the very first night y'all meet, right? Casual sex encounter. If all you do is just fuck her and send her home, she did not fall in love with you. That's not what happened, right? What a lot of guys do, though, is they let chicks spend a night. They spend a night with women. They take showers after the sex, right? When you do shit like that, the non-sexual shit combined with great sex, I want guys to understand that. The non-sexual shit you're doing combined with a great sexual encounter for the woman, those are the things that may make a woman want to get closer to you, but she ain't falling in love because you fucked her good. That's not the way that shit works. That non-sexual shit, the non-sexual intimacy is what really get women coming back for more. Right? Because if you think about it like this, for all you guys that are in relationships or married, all of you guys right now that are in relationships and married, especially if you cohabitate with your woman, how often are y'all fucking? In a 7-day week, how often are you having sex? And how long are you having sex? So let's say, for the sake of argument, right, we got 24 hours in a day. You live with your woman, or y'all live together rather. Right? You go to bed, she right there. You wake up, she right there. 24 hours in a day, right? Let's say you have sex 3-4 days a week for 30 minutes at a time. So do you think those 3 or 4 days a week, 30 minutes at a time is making her fall in love with you? Or do you think her seeing you every fucking day? Right? You guys spending quality time together non-sexually. Shout out to the homie. Shout out to the homie. With the 1950 in the building. So I want guys to understand that. What do you think is doing it for the woman? And if you ask any woman this question, what means more to you? Spending a day with your man or fucking him for 30 minutes? If she had to choose. She gonna say spending the day with him. Come on, man. Look. Guys, we gotta be smart, right? And I say that to say this. If you really believe that a woman's heart is connected to her vagina, you're gonna do what the guy did. Like, let's pay attention to what he said. Let's go back. Let's go back to the video. Let's pay attention to what these goofy niggas talking about.
But that's the thing too, and that's what some of the things I think men kind of get misconstrued. Yeah. Some women keep their heart between their legs. So they do. So that's what I'm saying. You the clap master, right? You clapping. But at the same time, what I had to realize is that once you do clap, the rules change. The rules change. And so right. And so when I used to say women was crazy, I'm like, man, that girl crazy. And I had a guy tell me one time, he said, well, what'd she do to her? And me, when I'm having sex, I don't know about y'all, I'm going all out for the gusto.
I want guys to understand something. When we talk about women being crazy and all that, see, what these guys aren't telling you is that they're spending hours with these chicks. See, what's making a woman go crazy is you're giving her the misleading impression that she can have more than just sex. Yes, a woman can be intoxicated with the dick. Yes, A woman can crave you sexually. But what's making them crazy is the inconsistencies in what you're doing non-sexually. So again, an example would be this. You let a woman spend a night, and then y'all have sex again, and then you tell her to go home. And then she starts tripping. And you say to yourself, why is she acting crazy? You see that? Why is she acting crazy? Because you're giving her the misleading impression that what you guys is doing is more than just sex. Anytime women, shout out to Rekka, right? When he called into, Lucario and Miles' live streams, what does he always say? He talks about the craziness that he endures from the women. Now, he's crazy too, right? But he talks about the craziness, right, that's going on with him and the women, how that shit is toxic. And that shit is toxic because he's doing non-sexual shit. He's doing non-sexual shit. And that shit is causing issues. And I said this before, and I'm going to say it again. When you deal with women, you must separate the sex from everything else. Sex needs to be over here, all by itself, right? All by itself. See, the dangers in conflating sex and emotion or tying it together, look no further than sexless marriages. Do y'all want to know why there are sexless marriages? Do y'all want to know why women are rationing the pussy to the men that they're with? Because their emotions, right? How the women feel about the situation is tied to all the non-sexual shit. So here's what I mean by that. If you're dealing with women and they're making you wait for sex, right? They're telling you, I got to get to know you. I got to, develop an emotional connection with you first. What happens is the sex is tied to that. So all of the non-sexual shit you're doing, the dates, the spending time with her, the Netflix and chilling without the sexual feeling, all of that non-sexual shit you're doing is tied to the sex. So what happens is when guys are dating women or they get into these relationships, what usually happens over time is that the guy cannot keep up with all of that shit he was doing, all of that non-sexual shit he was doing to get to the sex and to eventually get to the relationship, because it's not part of his identity. Shout out to Miles, masculine identity. It's not really part of his masculine identity to do all of that shit. So what happens is guys fall off. Right, I'll give you another case in point, and I wish I had the video. There's a YouTube channel called Soft White Underbelly, right? And on that channel, there was a video of a lawyer, right? And he was talking about his clients. And he was talking about a woman in particular, one of his clients, right? He was a divorce attorney. And a woman, the wife wanted a divorce from her husband. And when she was talking to the attorney, what she was telling him was, my husband used to always make sure I had a fresh pack of granola. So when she would go to the pantry, there was always a fresh pack of granola, right? So what ended up happening was one day he forgot. He forgot to buy the goddamn granola or something like, it was something like that, something simple like that. And she stopped fucking him because of that. I need guys to understand the extra shit he was doing outside of sex was tied directly to the sex. So if he didn't do that extra shit outside of the sex, he did not get the sex. That's why it's dangerous to tie emotions with sex. It's dangerous. Women will literally hold sex hostage if their emotions aren't being serviced. Let me make sure I ain't got no questions. I don't think I got any questions and shit. But if you do got a question though, I highly suggest you throw a Q in the joint, followed by your question before I bounce out this motherfucker, right? All right, hold on real quick. Something that I missed and shit. Okay, there we go right there. That's the article right there. That's the article right there. Read that article, right? And not only, again, and even in that article, she was speaking with intellectuals, right, about this, right? These are educated people talking about this. Okay, not a bunch of game goofy motherfuckers on the internet giving theory. Okay, these are educated people who are married. People in full-fledged, older people, 40s, 50s, 60s, older people talking about this. Not a bunch of young goofy motherfuckers who don't know shit. Again, guys, if y'all have a question, put a Q in the chat, followed by your questions. Make sure ain't no questions. Let me plug the joint right quick. The biggest lie men believe about women, sex, and love. Now, again, and I said this before about separating sex. This is why sex needs to come first. If sex comes first, you cut women off at the knees, meaning their ability to be able to tether their emotions with the sex. Now, I want people to understand, when we talk about emotions, you can experience a broad range of emotions: sadness, happiness, joy. All those are emotions. But when we talk about a woman's emotions, the quote unquote emotional connection, again, and I challenge any guy, if women's heart is connected to their vaginas, how come they're not falling in love with men who are bad in bed? I want to answer to that. I want to answer to that question. Because you cannot say a woman's heart is connected to her vagina if they're not falling in love with bad dick. Come on, man. Like, this shit don't make no sense. It don't make no sense. And again, it's guys theorizing why women act this way or why women act that way. They're just theorizing. And back in the video, he says, when the guy said, "What did you do to her? She's acting crazy." In his mind, he's like, "I just fucked her real good." No, dumbass. That's not what happened. Yeah, you may have fucked her good, yeah. But it's that other shit that you're doing that you're not telling people about. And again, guys don't count that. Case in point, the live streams that we do, whether it's the Manhood is the Skill Set show on Saturday, the Real Game No Theory on Sunday, or any other live stream that we do, when guys call in and we start grilling them about what they're doing, and we realize they're allowing women to spend the night, they're spending a lot of non-sexual time with women, they're taking showers with chicks they just met, shit like that. Every time we tell those guys, that's the problem. A lot of those guys be like, "Oh, really? Oh, I didn't think that was a big deal, me spending the night with her. I didn't think that was a big deal, me watching movies with her for an hour or two before we have sex, although I don't want a relationship. I didn't know any of that shit was a big deal." Guys literally think that giving women a lot of non-sexual attention is part of sex. A lot of guys believe that. They believe it's all interconnected. And it's not. It's separate. But when you merge the two or you tether the two together, you run into problems. You have issues in your dealings with women. Right? And I've said this about women. Women are very capable, very adept at being emotionally unavailable. Oh, we have a question right here. Hold on, make sure there ain't no more questions. Again, guys, I'm not going to be here that long. Probably, how long we've been? Probably another 30 minutes or so. So if you have any questions, I highly suggest you get the motherfuckers in. And I'm bouncing. Like I'm not doing no more than an hour today. I know I'll be saying that shit, and I'll be doing like 2 hours. An hour is the most. And if y'all aren't getting the questions in, it might be 45 minutes and shit. So he says, "Shorty used to text me first all the time before smashing. Made her come." See, bruh. when y'all be talking about making women come and all of that, that don't mean anything. You're not the only guy to do that. Okay, so let me read your question again. "Shorty used to text me first all the time before smashing, made her come and everything. I established that we're fucking only, and now she seems more distant." I don't know what's going on, bro. I don't know what you did. Okay, it could be she didn't like the sex. You know what I'm saying? Or it could be she met somebody else that fucks her better than you. Yeah, you made her come once. He made her come 10 times. So who knows? Okay, let me just say this to you guys about women. And this is what guys need to understand about women. Women will come in and out of your life. Your life will be a revolving door for women. And for all you guys that want to have all of this casual sex, I need guys to understand something. Now, if you're a guy and you don't mind, being in a long-term relationship, you don't mind being married, and that's something, you want to happen eventually, that's one thing. But for all of you guys who just want to have all of this damn casual sex, nothing wrong with casual sex. I like it, right? But for all of you guys who want to have all of these fuck buddies and you want to have all of these women you're fucking, these women are not meant to stay around. They're not meant to stay. They're not. Your life will be a revolving door for women, especially when it comes to casual sex encounters. You should never concern yourself with a woman leaving your life, especially when it's casual sex. Right? I need guys to understand, out of all of the relationships you can have with a woman, a sexual relationship is the weakest one. Okay, let me say that shit again. Out of all of the relationships you can have with a woman, having a sexual relationship with a woman is the weakest relationship you could ever have with her. There's no substance to that. There is nothing profound or meaningful about a sexual relationship. Nothing. There's no true investment in sex, right? So if you're just fucking, right, women can leave easily, just like men can leave easily. And you should, bro, I have never concerned myself with a woman not responding to me anymore or not calling me. I don't care. Right? Go to the next chick, bro. Like, real talk. Go to the next chick. Now, let me just say this about having game. Once you really have some game, you'll never ask why again. You'll never ask why women do this, why women do that. You'll never ask that question, ever, because you understand why. You understand that every interaction you have with women is temporary, especially when it comes to casual sex. And that's something you just have, guys, if you're going to indulge in casual sex, that's what you're signing up for. You're signing up for temporary interactions with women that have no substance to them. Right? If you're really concerned about having more of a substantial relationship that lasts a little bit longer, it's going to have to be more than sex. Y'all going to have to be doing a lot more than just fucking then, if that's the case. But even then, a woman still has to earn it. You don't just give it to her, or I'm just going to give her access to me and make her my girl because she's pretty and I like fucking her. I don't think so. Right? So let's go. I think there's another question. Let me hop on this motherfucker. Hold on real quick. Efosa says, are women with low sex drive? Efosa, you getting on my nerves, bro. You getting on my nerves with this shit, bro. Because you ask Lacari on them this shit all the time, bro. I need guys to understand. There are women who have medical issues, hysterectomies, menopause, and a host of other things that can happen. There are so many different things that can happen to a woman's body to fuck up her sex drive. So many different things. Right? Not only that, you have women who have been traumatized, right? Because they've been sexually assaulted or something like that. Right? That can fuck with their ability or their desire to want to fuck. Right? I need guys to understand that shit. There are so many different variables that happen when it comes to a woman's body. Bro, and I can't explain that shit. I'm not a fucking biologist. You know what I'm saying? Or what, you know what I'm saying? Or a human biologist. There's so many different things that can happen with a woman's body. Guys, sexual compatibility is just that. I don't give a fuck about a woman's sex drive. All I know is this. I'll give you an example, Efosa. I'll give you an example. If I'm single, right, and I'm having sex 4 or 5 days a week with multiple women, right, because there won't be just one woman, right? Let's say I'm having sex 4 or 5 days a week with multiple women as a single man. If and when I got into a relationship, right, hypothetically speaking, a monogamous, sexually exclusive relationship. Now, mind you, single, having sex 4 or 5 times a week on average, if and when I were to get into a monogamous relationship, guess what better happen? I still better be having sex 4 to 5 days a week. So that means that one woman has to pick up the slack for all the other bitches I ain't fucking no more. That's what she gotta do. That's what she better do if she wants the relationship. So I don't give a fuck about a woman's sex drive. All I know is when I was single, I was fucking 4 or 5 days a week. There is no way I'm gonna be in a relationship and that number drops. Ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna fucking happen. So that's why sexual compatibility is important. Make sure you and that woman are sexually compatible. You don't get into a relationship with a woman whose sex drive doesn't match as yours. And then you talk about love. Guys, love has nothing to do with sex. Look, I need you guys to understand something. There was a time, hold me right real quick. Easy bucks with the $49.99. No lie, in my late teens, I was doing the same thing. I would only be love bombing women. And then when they start acting possessive, I would be confused as hell. Toxic drama. My unc had to sit me down and show me my wrongs. The game saved me. Exactly. The majority of guys' issues with women and sex is all of that non-sexual shit you keep doing. This is why I tell you guys, unless you're ready to date that woman, leave all of that shit out of it. Okay, I do not introduce non-sexual shit to women until I feel as though I'm ready to date her. Right? That's the only time. Because then I'm ready for all the emotions that come with it. And I'm ready to manage that shit. Okay, when you do shit inadvertently, I talk about inadvertent behavior all the time. Right? And let me say this, Easy Bucks. Every guy is guilty of that. All of us are. Or were. All of us. When we first start having sex and all of that, and we don't really understand women and their emotions and all of that, we're all guilty of doing all that non-sexual shit. Every guy is, right? But at some point, you need to catch a clue and say, you know what, let me stop doing this shit, right? Because number one, it's causing drama in your own dating life. Why would you want drama? Casual sex encounters should be the easiest things to do. Because there's no expectation of relationships. There's no expectation of emotional investment. But guys make it hard. Well, you know, women say no, don't listen to what women say. Stop listening. Okay, and I said this about women. Women always say, oh, I want this, I want that, because they don't understand what it's like until they really get it, right? They just know how they think they might feel once they get it. Oh, I want a man to spoil me and just buy me flowers all the time. And then when they get it, they don't feel nothing. It's flowers. Do y'all know how many women don't want their men buying flowers because they think it's a waste of fucking money? The women is like, babe, let's just go out on a date. That money you spending on those dozen roses, let's just go out on a date and have some fun. These motherfuckers gonna die in a few days anyway, right? So once you actually step back and stop listening to women and realize a lot of the shit that they say they want, once they get it, the way that they feel about it isn't the way they thought they was gonna feel about it. Hold on real quick. All right, so 13 Leak says, so if you're currently in a situation where you already let her spend the night and you've been spending a lot of non-sexual attention, what can you do? Well, guys, here's the problem. Once you start introducing that non-sexual shit, you can't take it back. You can't take it back. I need you guys to understand that. Once women get used to you doing all that you cannot take it back. It's going to cause issues. So eventually what's going to happen is, and my thing is to you, 13 Leak, is that a hypothetical question or is that something that you're doing? Because if you're asking a hypothetical question, my answer to you is don't ever do that shit then. Okay, if you're asking a hypothetical question, don't do that. If you're in a situation where you're currently doing that, my question would be to you, are you catching drama? Is there issues? If there's no issues, don't change anything. Guys, and I said this before, if you're dealing with women and you don't have any issues in your situation, don't change anything. I don't care if we say something in one of these live streams that you want to implement, don't. Don't do that, right? And I say that to say this. A few years back, there was a guy who was married who was listening to us, the Real Game No Theory. He was listening to us. And he didn't have any problems in his marriage. And he heard us say some shit. So he wanted to make changes in his marriage to implement some of the shit that we said. And he fucked up his marriage. Don't change shit in your relationships with women if it's working for you. If you're not having any issues, just because we say some fly shit, right? Do not implement that shit with the current woman you're dealing with. Implement that shit with a new woman, not the current one. Don't fuck up your situation now. Don't do that. So if you're not having any issues or drama, continue what you're doing. It's that simple. Hold on, I caught something you said. Hold on, bro. You said no. What you say? I'm currently doing that, but the more time I spent with her, the more I realized I didn't like her. Like, you see right there. You see right there, bro. You see, that's the shit I'm talking about. This is why I implore you guys to stop right there. You said it right there. And I want guys to understand what he's saying. I'm currently doing that, but the more time I spent with her, the more I realized I didn't like her. See, right there. And this is what happens with most guys. They do all of that non-sexual shit just to get the pussy. And then once you start fucking her, a couple of times, a handful of times, you realize, I really don't like her like that. Like, she kind of goofy. She getting on my fucking nerves. But what happens is you get stuck. And you feel like, damn, if I stop doing what I'm doing, she's going to stop letting me fuck her. And that's exactly what's going to happen. Stop doing that shit you doing and watch what happens, bro. See, and now you stuck. Now you stuck doing shit you don't want to do just so you can keep fucking her. If I was you, I would stop doing it. Now, once you stop doing it, be prepared for World War III in your situation. Because I'm telling you guys, once you introduce non-sexual shit, especially when you've been doing it for a while, and then you try to pull that shit back, there is not a woman on the planet that's going to let you get away with doing that. Even if they don't, and listen to me, even if that woman does not want a relationship with you, she still ain't going to let you get away with doing that. She going to give you hell. You know what I'm saying? Guys, this is why I tell you guys, believe it or not, you can have casual sex without all that extra shit. And the women that want the extra shit, don't fuck with them. If a woman is telling you, oh, no, I'm not telling you we can't have sex, but we got to spend some non-sexual time first, tell her no. Nah, not at all. We ain't doing that. We ain't doing that shit because you're setting yourself up. You're setting yourself up. Come on, man. We got some more questions we got to get to. Hold on real quick. We got about 15, 16 minutes, y'all. Hold on real quick. There's another question that I missed. I'm going to get to y'all question. I see him. Folks, I think I see a question. Y'all need to stop worrying about a woman's sex drive, right? Stop worrying about that shit. And let me just say this real quick about a woman's sex. A woman with a low sex drive can still have sex with you. It doesn't mean she doesn't get horny. It just means that the frequency for her to have sex is low. Right? That's all that means. It doesn't mean she doesn't have sex. It just means it's low. So if you think you're going to be having sex 4 or 5 days a week with a woman who has a low sex drive, ain't going to happen. Ain't going to happen. Not 4 or 5 days a week. A woman with a low sex drive, it ain't going to happen. Maybe like once a week. Oh, then he didn't came with it. Lower hybrid, $100. Do you prefer a woman who's in love with you or who is infatuated with you? Neither. Okay, but I will say infatuation is better. Infatuation is better because it's short-lived, right? Let me tell you, I've had women who've been in love with me, and yo, on one hand, it's a beautiful thing, like a woman who really fucks with you, and you fuck with her back, and she's in love with you. It's a beautiful thing, but at the same time, it's draining. I need you guys to understand, a woman loving you is draining. For me, it is. I can't speak for everybody else. A woman loving you could be very, very draining, right? So you got to be prepared for that, right? So he said, if you became incurably impotent, would you still want women? Shit, that's a good question. Hold on. Hold on, you got me with that one. Hold on. Whoa, that's a good question. If I couldn't fuck no more, would I want women? Oh, I don't know, bro. I don't know. I don't know if I could just hang around a woman non-sexually and that's it. I don't know. I don't know if I could do that. If I don't know. Oh shit, that's a good one. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh, I do love the energy of women and all that, but damn, that's a good question, bro. Lord Harper, he got me stumped, but I still want to be around women if I couldn't fuck. Oh shit. Oh, I don't know. That would be hard. That's what I'm saying. That would more likely be a no, bro. I don't know. I don't know, bro, because that's to only be around her and do non-sexual shit and that's it. I can't get my dick sucked. Nothing. Oh, I don't know. That's too much. Oh shit, that's a good one though. That's a good one. That's a good one. Oh, hold on real quick. Let me go back to his shit. So he says, by the way, I'm pro non-sexual. I think black men need more non-sexual time with women and much less sex. You mean much more sex? I'm not sure if you meant to say that. Well, this is what I would say about much less. I don't think men should allow their desire for sex to dominate their lives. I don't think men should do that. There needs to be a healthy balance with what you do when it comes to women, right? There's way more important things to do other than fucking. There's way more pressing things that need to get done other than laying up fucking a woman all day. So, me personally, I'm not laying around fucking chicks all day. I got shit to do. I got shit to do. And my future is not predicated on fucking. Me enjoying my future, I got more years behind me than I got in front of me. Right? So I'm going to be retiring soon. And my retirement years, what I'm saying, as far as me having a quality of life has nothing to do with women or sex. Right? So, we got some more questions. Let me grab them up real quick. Hold on. And appreciate the super chat, by the way, homie. Appreciate the super chat. Hold on real quick. Let me make sure I don't miss none of y'all questions. I'm trying not to miss y'all shit. Okay, I think I got them all. Hey, folks, I see your shit. I'm gonna grab it, bro. I see you. Oh, you know what? I meant to make a point about this question. I meant to make a point, and I forgot to make my point. I need guys to understand. Women do not need to have sex to cultivate an emotionally profound connection with a man. They don't need to have sex for that, right? I need guys to understand there was a time in our society where casual sex encounters weren't as prevalent as they are now, right? You go back 100 years ago, 200 years ago, 300, even further than that, right? There was a time when a lot of the people who were getting into relationships were getting married, right? And they were waiting until marriage for sex. So riddle me this. You telling me that these people didn't develop a profound emotional connection before they was fucking? I bet you they did. Right? So when you're talking about a woman falling in love, yeah, a woman most definitely can develop strong feelings for a man before they ever fuck. I need you guys to understand that. I need you guys to understand a woman does not need to have sex with you to begin to care about you profoundly. She doesn't, right? Just understand that. And I think that's the mistake that guys, okay, we need to stop, again, we need to stop tethering the two together and intermingling sex and love. This shit is separate. It's separate. A woman can have sex with you without loving you, and a woman can love you without fucking you. I need guys to understand that. They're not mutually inclusive. But for whatever reason, in this society, we have people who want to make them mutually inclusive. And that shit causes problems. It causes problems. Right? So anyway, let's get back to, hold on real quick. All right, so the homie says, from your experience, what hoops did you have to jump through to get custody of your child? Apparently, I get custody of my son because the system doesn't want to be separated. Okay, so when I got custody of my, and this was years ago, back in 2005. At the time, I got custody of my older two kids. My daughter was, I believe, 11, and my son was, I believe, 5 at the time, 5 or 6. Well, I want to say 5, right? 11 and 5. And I got custody of them, but I didn't go through the court. I did not go through the court, right? Because the mother still had a great deal of respect for me, right? And this is important. This is why dealing with women who respect you is important, because even once the relationship or marriage dissolves, that respect is still there. So because I still had her respect and I still had a certain level of influence, not only did she respect me as a man, but she respected me as the father of our children. So when I went to her, right, I sat in her living room with her and her man at the time, and I basically told her, I said, look, right, my life is going well. At the time, I was about to get married, and I just had a house built at the time. So I was, my shit was, I was ascending, right? I was doing very well at the time, right? And you know, she was struggling a little bit. So my thing was, and again, I had a brand new house. I think it was a 5 bedroom, 3.5 bathroom, 2-story house just built, right? So I'm like, I had this big house built. I want my kids, right? I partially had that house built because I wanted them to have their own rooms, right? So for me, I wanted them there full time, not just part time, right? So I went to her and I basically told her, I said, yo, let me get my babies. Let me get them. And she cried. She cried her eyes out, right? She cried about it. She was but she said yes, right? But she cried about it. She was very emotional about it, right? But she gave them up. She gave my babies up to me, right? And then I took her, right after that, I took her to the Attorney General. And I don't know if they do this. I don't know if they do this now, but they did back then. Right after, because she never put me on child support. I was not on child support, right? And let me just say this real quick. When I broke up with her, I told her, when it comes to the children, whatever they need, I got it. Everything. I don't care if it's hair products for my daughter, socks, umbrellas, whatever they need, I will buy it. Period. I'll buy all of that shit, right? So she never put me on child support because I bought everything. I bought their school uniforms, their clothes, Halloween costumes, everything, right? So she didn't have to worry about that. But when I went to her and I told her, give me my babies. No, she gave me my babies. Then when I went to the Attorney General, I took her to the Attorney General, and she signed some paperwork that they notarized, basically saying that she would never put me on child support, right? And the reason why I did that was because when I got custody, it wasn't legal. I didn't go through the courts to do it. So I wanted to prevent her from coming back later on some, can I have the kids back? or anything like that. I wanted to prevent any bullshit. So all I was doing was covering my bases legally. Because the custody wasn't court ordered, right? But also I knew here in the state of Texas, when you have a custodial parent and a non-custodial parent, if the custodial parent, which is the parent which is normally the mother, if the mother was to allow the kids to stay with the father for 6 consecutive months, the father automatically became the custodial parent. So I needed those 6 months to pass. So when I had her sign that paperwork about the child support shit, that was my insurance policy to make sure nothing happened in 6 months. But once those 6 months passed and I had legal custody, nothing else mattered after that. Right? So yes, hey, bro. Bro. Hold on. Bro. Hey. A lot of guys don't cover their bases. I cover my bases, bro. Still the law, especially with following. Oh, okay. Okay. Right, hold on real quick. Hold on. She says, is it still legal to do that? I don't know. This was 2005. You're talking about what, 21 years ago and shit? It's been a minute. You know what I'm saying? It's been a long time, right? So anyway, real quick, I'm about to wrap this up, but let me get, there's a question. I want to get to the question. Let me get back to this question. So he says, apparently I can't get custody of my son just because the system doesn't want him to be separated. Okay, real quick. The attorney general, and it doesn't matter what state they're in, they don't give a fuck about the kids. I need people to understand that. The attorney general, they don't give a fuck about the kids. They don't care. All they care about is the money. That's all they care about, right? Child support is a legal hustle, right? This is why the attorney general gets a percentage, right, of child support. They get a percentage. Any woman who is getting child support from the attorney general, she's not getting the exact dollar amount that she's supposed to get. They're taking some off the top, right? And shout out to Matt Barnes. And I talked about this. Google Matt Barnes, former NBA player. I think he was paying, and somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, he was paying, I want to say $100,000 a month or a year or something like that. It was six figures. Whatever his child support was, it was in six figures, right? And he was paying that shit. And what ended up happening was his ex-wife ended up doing some goofy shit, and she got the kids taken away from her. And they gave the kids to him. So he got legal custody of his kids. When he went to the attorney general to get the child support canceled, because he has custody of his kids now, they would not cancel the child support. They would not cancel it. It's all about the money. They don't give a fuck about what happens with, they don't care. I'm just telling y'all, they don't give a fuck. Like they really don't care, bro. It's unfortunate, but they don't. Hold on real quick with another question. So the homie says, is playing R&B music during sex, can it cause a woman to be emotionally attached? Oh, my, Efosa, bro, what? What's wrong with you, bro? What's wrong with you, bro? He says, is playing R&B music during sex can cause a woman to be emotionally attached? And should I avoid playing music so she won't be? Efosa, where did you hear that from? Where did you get that from? Where did you get that from? Where did you get that shit from, bro? Who? No, bro, no. Come on, man. It's just music. It's just, I think Efosa, bro, you're overthinking this, man. You know, go ahead and play the music. Yeah, he is. And I'm trying to remember that. I'm trying to remember he is special in so many ways and shit. So me personally, I'll just use myself as an example. Okay, the only time I'm listening to a sex tape while I'm fucking is if it's a chick I've been dating. And that's it. If it's a woman like I'm fucking her, like I just met her and I'm fucking her, I ain't playing no fucking music at all. You know what I'm saying? While I'm fucking anyway. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm not. No, because you trying to stroke her to the rhythm all slow and shit. You trying to grind all slow and no, bro, I ain't doing all that shit. You know what I'm saying? No. Now, again, guys, there's nothing wrong with listening to music while you fucking all of that. All right. But the music, a woman, Efosa, I want you to think about your question. The music you're listening to while you stroking down a woman has nothing to do with you. That's like saying It's like saying a woman met a guy and he was horrible in bed, but because he was playing Jodeci, she thinks she likes him now. I mean, just think about your question. He sucks in bed, but because he was playing some Jodeci, she was like, you know what? I wasn't gonna call that nigga back. But that nigga's playlist is fire though. Right? I mean, he sucks in bed, but I'm going back over there for that playlist. I mean, come on, come on, bro. Think about your question. Oh shit. I think that might be the last question. I don't know. Let me see. Efosa, man, you're special, bro. You're real fucking special, bro. All right, there's another question right there. Shit. You gotta have patience with Efosa. You gotta have patience, mad patience. The question right there. Oh, I almost missed y'all shit. Oh, I'm about to answer these 2 questions and I'm out. I hit my hour. Hold on, let me wrap this shit up real quick. Let me get this question. Is it possible non-sexual energy and attention to your actual girlfriend or long-term lady in your life lead to less sex? If so, it could, but usually that happens in the beginning. See, this is what guys have to understand about establishing boundaries and parameters as far as how the relationship is going to operate, right? In the very, very beginning, this is why you have to, guys, and again, I'll just use myself as an example. I had, right, because I'm not going to get married ever again, but I had 4 categories, 4 distinct categories I would put women in. Fuck buddy, just sex, a woman I'm dating, girlfriend, and wife. Fuck buddy, woman I'm dating, girlfriend, wife. 4 distinct categories, right? So if you go fuck buddy, the sex, the boundaries and parameters surrounding the sex need to be established in the fuck buddy situation, right? This is why you should be fucking a chick for 2, 3, 4 months, sometimes longer, so that way you can establish the foundation for sexual compatibility, but also you're establishing the foundation to make sure that the sex is completely separate from all that non-sexual shit. So those guys, you do not want women playing with sex. You don't want women weaponizing sex. You don't want women doing goofy shit with the sex. That needs to be completely separate, right? So now, once you make a decision that you're going to date that woman, right? You're going to start dating her a little bit more seriously, right? At that juncture, that's when you're going to hit her with the non-sexual shit. Here's the key. And shout out to Miles. Miles said this before. He talked about, and he was talking about in the dating stage, where although you're introducing dates now and non-sexual shit, that even though you're doing non-sexual shit with the woman, still make sure you have sex though. Still make sure you have sex. So as an example, right? You might want the chick to come over and watch a movie together and shit. A woman that you're dating. Nothing wrong with that. You might, man, bring your ass over here. We're gonna order some takeout. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get up on this couch. We're gonna snuggle up. We're gonna watch this movie together. Okay, she can come over. You ain't gotta get straight to fucking. Watch the movie, couple hours later, you fucking. Right? But this is a woman you're dating though, right? But again, make sure you fuck though, right? Because what you don't want to do is start off with sex and then you start spending a lot of non-sexual time with a chick where you're not having sex. Okay, now there's an expectation of spending non-sexual time with her without sex. So if you do that too many times, what could happen is the woman might say, do we have to have sex? Why don't we just do like we did last time? You remember? We just watched the movie together and then we fell asleep and we laid in each other's arms all night. And then I woke up in the morning and took a shower with you and I went home and we never had sex. You don't want to get in the habit of doing that kind of shit. right? So again, there's different type of variables, but this is where you have to have a solid vetting process for how you evaluate and observe the women that you deal with to ensure that things are moving at a pace to your liking. That's it. And nothing is guaranteed. The relationship can still fall by the wayside. But all you want to do is just eliminate as much bullshit as possible so you and that woman actually enjoy each other. You just want to eliminate as much bullshit as possible so y'all enjoy each other. Right? So that's the answer to that. Next question, I'm about to be out with this. When you first started, was it hard not to involve? No. Let me tell you something about me. And I've said this before. I don't like doing non-sexual shit with women. Back when I was a teenager, it goes back since I was young. I don't like doing non-sexual shit with women when I don't fuck with them like that. I never had a problem not doing non-sexual shit. I never had a problem. Again, I told the story going back to high school where I would have sex with chicks and they would want me to take showers with them and I would say no. And they would get mad at me and shit. And I would be like, yo, why don't you get in the shower first and I'll get in after you? And then the chick will look at me funny and I would be like, okay, I'll get in the shower first and you can get in after me, right? And I'll go lock the door like, bitch, you ain't coming in the bathroom while I'm taking a shower. No, we're not taking a shower together. I don't want to do that shit, right? Now, if I'm talking about dating or in a relationship, I don't have a problem with any of that. But when I first start dealing with women, I'm not doing none of that. Okay? And the reason why I'm not doing any of that is because I have to like. I need you guys to understand where I'm going with this. I have to genuinely like a woman. I have to genuinely enjoy a woman's company. That's the only way I can spend non-sexual time with a woman. I have to genuinely like her outside of sex, meaning me, quote unquote, liking her has nothing to do with sex. Like I genuinely like her as a person. That's the only time I can do non-sexual shit with women. All that cuddling and spending the night, I can't do none of that shit. I can't do it. I can't. I can't. I don't even want to. Like I have no desire to at all, unless I like her. That's the only time. That's it. I can't do it. Like, that's why when guys do it, I don't understand it. I'm like, I can't do that shit. Right? Nah, bro. That's the end of that. I'm about to get up out of here. Appreciate y'all coming through. I'm gonna holler at y'all. Enjoy the rest of y'all day. Peace.